everyone. Hope your week has been good so far. In News Generation today, some members of the Methodist Church are not happy they have to pay the debt of the Methodist University. How safe is your food? We will tell you how some foodstuffs are handled in a market. And Gabon will host the 2017 edition of the African Cup of Nations. My name is Abigail Adumakwenchi. Stay with us.
News Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid. We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call Vitarid.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only Cowbell with Vitarid puts you on the fast track.
We always want to have your thoughts on social media, so join us on facebook.com/newsgenerationgh and on Twitter @newsgenerationgh. Now to our very first story. Leadership of the Methodist Church has asked members to pay the debt of the Methodist University. The university owes a bank some 10 million cedis. Not everyone is happy with the decision.
Vice Principal of the Methodist University College, Professor Joseph Edusa Eisen, explains a decision by the National Accreditation Board to force the school to cut down on its student population has made it impossible for it to repay the debt on its own.
So we went for the loan of 10 million Ghana cedis. Now, we knew that we were able to service the loan. Unfortunately, along the line, there was the challenge with NAB regarding student intake and all that, which actually dropped the numbers that we thought we would have. And that was a key reason why we were not able to service the loan, even though we had been servicing it.
So the Methodist Church, following the pleas from the school, has agreed to go to its rescue. Presiding Bishop, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, explains it remains the responsibility of the church to keep the university in operation.
It is not as if the Methodist University is on its own and the Methodist Church Ghana is sitting somewhere. It is our school, by the contract that we have. The church is responsible for the provision of infrastructure.
While some members are expressing disquiet over the decision, others are supportive of it.
I think it's our school and we have to help them. So as for this place, we have paid ours. So I think we should help.
But presiding Bishop of the Methodist Church, Reverend Professor Emmanuel Asante, is urging members of the church to support the move.
How safe is your food? That's a question the World Health Organization has been asking because millions of people around the world get sick from eating unsafe food. Now, Shay was at the market to check out how various foodstuffs are handled.
Let's see how she's going to buy. Most of foodstuffs travel long distances from farms in rural areas before ending up in market stores in the cities. And this is why many come to buy the items they need to prepare their meals. Some of the sellers realize the need to wash foodstuffs, especially vegetables. But others don't care, and this makes some foodstuffs unsafe for eating. What do you look out for when buying food items?
I only buy from those who display the tomatoes on neat tables. I'll wash it before grinding it. I use it to sell kinky.
15-year-old Rebecca Enchubu Isiakun helps her mother to sell plantain. She says farmers from rural areas do not pay particular attention to food hygiene.
They don't handle it well, so those who bring them here, we should ensure, because we know better, so we should ensure that maybe the food they bring, we handle it well by maybe, let's say, cassava like this. When we bring it, we should preserve it well so that those who come, they can be able to come and buy it.
Some people do not pay attention to safety and hygiene standards when preparing or preserving food. Rebecca wants everyone to pay attention to food safety.
You wash your hand. You have to wash your hand when you are preparing the food. Yes, and I make sure that the saucepans and all those stuff has to be cleaned very well before you prepare the food. And the food should be well washed. Make sure the food is well boiled. Then before the person eats, and when the person is eating the food should be hot. Yes, it shouldn't be cold.
We go to the house and the parents allow her to speak.
Well, very important to eat healthy food away from food safety. A gas filling point in Dansoman has been closed down for 10 days after an explosion. 2 persons were injured and residents were angry. We asked some of you what you think of these events.
I don't think it's good because it should be built at far places where if there's an explosion, it will not cause any harm to any humans or maybe trees. People will lose less properties.
It's very risky. It's very risky. Those building the filling stations, the government must inspect and must assure that they build the filling stations at better places, not as like residential areas like Choco and the rest. It shouldn't be built there because there are many people there. So if it explodes, thousands of people there.
If it enters our lungs, it is very dangerous and it can give us respiratory diseases like asthma, pneumonia and others.
I think the government should make sure that when they are about to build the filling station, they must check whether the place is safe or not before building it. Or when they don't check and then they build it, maybe when there is a heavy rain or flood, it's going to fall down and there's going to be a mess.
It's all right if the gas filling stations are not near houses, because if gas filling stations were to be near houses, the people in the residential areas will feel endangered because they know if there's an explosion, it will easily affect them.
It is not good when filling stations are built around residential places because it is very dangerous and risky. It kills, and it's also not good for our health because if we breathe in gas, it damages our lungs.
I think they should relocate the filling stations to far places, maybe places where there are less humans and homes, so that when there's an explosion or even leakage, we are secure.
They should build the gas stations at windy areas so that even if there's a leakage there and there's fire around, the wind can weaken the gas so that it will not have so much effect on the people around that place.
And even though they are near houses, there should be tall walls so that if the fire explodes, it can't spread quickly. And there should be fire extinguishers at every corner so that as close as you are, the fire extinguisher will be near you, so you can just take it and spray it.
Human beings can also prevent it by not building their houses or renting houses near gas filling stations so that they won't be burnt when there is gas explosion.
They must check that there's no gas leakages. They must make sure that there's no anything that will cause an explosion. They must make sure that the place is kept neat.
I think before they build the gas filling stations, they must check the area whether it's okay, and they must build it in open areas where there are no residential homes.
So those were some of your thoughts. We'll take a break now. We'll be back with more. Do stay on.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call VitaRich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only cowbell with VitaRich puts you on the fast track.
And you're back. Now today we feature a young boy who is determined to get educated in spite of the challenges he faces. When he realized that he could not rely on his aging father for long, he turned to fishing in order to take care of himself and support his education. He has no regrets taking that decision as he is about to complete his junior high school education in June this year. This is the story of Isaac So.
It's some few minutes past 6 a.m. and already there's a burst of activity at Mahiam's waterfront in the Gas South municipality. Some fishermen and traders negotiate prices of fish on display. Fishermen in this community earn a living fishing in the Densu River. 18-year-old Isaac So has lived in Mahiam for more than 10 years. He's a fisher boy and a JHS 3 pupil of Galilea DA1 school. It's Monday, but it's a holiday, which means Isaac doesn't have to be in school, but he will be busy doing something else.
Oh, I've been fishing for some 8 years ago. Yeah, 8 years ago. And this is the work that my father did to take care of us. So I also want to do it, but I don't want to learn the work detail. Why? Because if I may learn this work detail, I can't have time for my schooling.
He does this work so he sees himself through school.
At first, when I started school my father put me in school in P2. He was taking care of me to P4. And now he's old. He can't do anything. So I decided to do this fishing myself, to take care of myself and go to school. So I've been taking care of myself to Form 3.
With a wooden canoe, net and a paddle, Isaac and another fisherman, John, set off on the calm waters of the Densu River. Some meters from the riverbank, John casts the net wide into the river. Isaac then pulls up the net slowly and gently with the hope that some fish may have been trapped in the net. No luck, not a single fish got caught. Instead, the net caught something else, wheat. They tried again and again, but each time they were disappointed. After several attempts, they abandoned their fishing trip and returned to the bank.
You can go to this water without getting at it, because when the wind is blowing, the wind will let the fish will not stay at one place. They will move in here and then. You can go without getting it from evening to morning.
According to Isaac, the river looks very calm from afar, but it can be very dangerous at times when certain safety measures are not followed. After the failed fishing journey, Isaac helps out a group of fishermen to tend their nets. Although fishing may be very attractive due to the amount of money fishermen make, Isaac prefers education.
You know, school, if you attend school, there are a lot of work that you may do. But this fishing, my father, he told me that they are fishing for several years. They've not built a house pool. If I told you I will stop school there, I don't think so. The school there, I can continue. I can continue doing this work too. So this is the work that I may do to complete school.
It is just a few weeks to the start of the basic education certificate examination, but Isaac doesn't get a break from fishing.
I get time to learn. I learn when this time like this, I don't learn. But in the midnight, when I wake up to learn. I have prepared myself for the BEC. I wake up and learn for my papers every day. I wake up in around 12 to 1. I learn about 2 hours to 3 hours. Then I'll go and sleep again.
He hopes to pass the BEC so that he could further his education in senior high school. Until Isaac is able to get the needed help from friends and relatives, he will continue to rely on the Densu River for survival.
Very touching story there. Now let's go to Zambia and Bangladesh to see what some other children get up to.
Joseph Njo tima lembera mbuzi tima sitosa na 7 hours tima bozi gesa tikazigesa tima bozi tikambo sovera kosovera tikazisovera tenda kuzimwesa na manzi futi tizabwa tizigesa tikazigesa tizabwa tizipeleke 16 kakwani tizipeleka mkola manje.
These kids live on the streets of Komlapur in Bangladesh and work on the railway station as coolies. They don't have a roof over their head. They don't live in a safe environment. But they have dreams like every other kid.
স্কুলে পড়ার ইচ্ছা আছে, খেলাধুলার ইচ্ছা আছে, ভালো কাপড় চোপড়ের ইচ্ছা আছে।
এই জায়গায় পূজা টুজা মারি, ভাই বন্ধুদের লগে চলি, সবার সাথে হাসি খুশি থাকি, এই জায়গায় থাকি। মনে করেন এনে থাকিয়া পূজা টুজা মারি, রাইতে ঘুমানলে টাকা পয়সা থাকলে বেলির দিয়ে একটা লয়া জায়গা, এই ডরে দোকানে জমা দিয়া রাইতের বেলা ঘুমাই, সকালে উঠে আবার পূজা মারি, খাই ঘুমাই। এটাই আমি যখন বড় হবো এই সময় আমার মতো অনেক কত শিশুরা রাস্তায় থাকবো, তখন আমি হেল্প করবো, নিজের ভাই বললা বুকে টাইনা লমো।
Maybe one day their dreams come true, not only for themselves but also for other street kids around them.
We'll be right back after this break. Don't go away.
We all know how important good nutrition is to grow up big and strong. Not only is cowbell milk enriched with 28 vitamins and minerals, it's also boosted by the 5 most important vitamins, which we call Vita-Rich.
It's got vitamin A for good eyesight development. It's got vitamin C to help fight infections. It's got vitamin D and calcium to help build strong bones and teeth. It's got vitamin E to help with body protection. And it's got vitamin K for general well-being and immunity.
For good health and vitality, only cowbell with Vita-Rich puts you on the fast track.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at other stories making news in a roundup.
Some school children in Kumasi are studying under trees after a rainstorm damaged their school buildings. No one was hurt, but some heads of some of the affected schools are considering closing down their schools because the structures have become dangerous. The United Nations Security Council has demanded access to the Palestinian refugee camp of Yarmouk in Damascus, Syria. The situation in the camp has worsened since 1st April when Islamic State fighters attacked. Palestinian militiamen opposed to the Syrian government and some Free Syrian Army fighters are leading the fight against IS. But that hasn't changed much, as people either hide in their homes or flee the camp. There's no food, water, and little medicine for those who live there. The camp is home to the largest Palestinian refugee community in Syria. A white South Carolina police officer has been charged with murder after video emerged of him shooting a black man running away from him. State investigators arrested the police officer after viewing the mobile phone video of the shooting. Authorities said the victim, Walter Lamont Scott, was shot after the officer had already targeted him with a stun gun. Police officers in the U.S. shoot and kill hundreds of people each year, but only a handful of cases result in an officer facing criminal charges. An 11-year-old Australian boy who went missing during a family camping trip has been found alive. Luke Shambrook, who has autism, was spotted from the air about 3 kilometers from where his family had been camping beside the lake. He was taken to the hospital with a drop in body temperature, but police said he appeared unharmed. As Manchester City found out in this year's Champions League, playing football against Barcelona can be pretty frustrating. With their brilliant passing game, sometimes it's difficult to get the ball off them, never mind score. A player in Spain saw red for letting this frustration get the better of him, but in a rather unusual way. Fabian Orienlo of Celtic Vigo was sent off in their game against Barcelona for throwing grass. The forward picked up and threw the lump of tape at Barca midfielder Sergio Busquets in the 88th minute of their game. After the midfielder bent over clutching his face, Orellana was shown a red card by the referee. If that wasn't bad enough, Celta Vigo went on to lose the game 1-0. Scientists have built a test version of the bendy battery made from aluminium, which they say is better than current batteries. The guy who designed it says it's cheaper, more flexible, and faster to change than a normal battery. Special liquid salt surrounds the material that creates the electricity inside the battery, which can recharge in less than a minute. Developers say the battery is exciting, but still in very early stages. A buffalo in the American state of Texas found itself in a high-speed chase with police after it was spotted running through a neighborhood. Police tried to catch it, chasing the buffalo as it galloped along pavements, on grass, and into the streets. Police eventually managed to get it back home to its owners, and no one was hurt.
And Ghana lost out to Gabon. Gabon will host the 2017 edition of the African Cup of Nations. They beat rival bits from Algeria and Ghana in a vote by the CAF Executive Committee at a meeting in Cairo, Egypt. Gabon will use 4 venues for the 16-team tournament set for January 2017. Gabon replaces Wharton Libya, who withdrew last year as 2017 hosts because of the civil conflict in the country. It will be the second time that Gabon will stage the finals after co-hosting the 2012 edition with neighbors Equatorial Guinea. Now send us your comments and questions on social media platforms. That's facebook.com/newsgenerationgh and on Twitter @newsgengh. And remember to tell us what your classroom looks like. That'll be all for News Generation. See you next time. My name is Abigail Adumakunchi. Thanks for watching.
News Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.